Hey guys, how's it going? It's Phil again. Welcome to another video. This time this is the second part to the building video I just started the other day. So that's the Windows 95/DOS hybrid computer. So the last time we built the hardware and we installed Windows 95. In this part we're gonna cover installing all the drivers and all the well, basically all the drivers, and just setting up Windows so we can run our first 3dfx games. I will not cover DOS in this part. That's for the next part. Now, before I start, I'm just gonna say I had some real issues capturing all this. I did a run before using just the VGA input on the AVerMedia, but every time you reboot or it changes the resolution, it creates a new file. That alone wouldn't be too much of an issue, but the problem is I also use the built-in facility to record the voiceovers, and it just stops recording. It doesn't create another file, or it doesn't keep continuing recording. It just stops after the first time you reboot, and I only found out afterwards, so that was a bit of a pain. So I'm using something else now. I had this box lying around for quite some time. It's a box that takes a VGA input and it scales it to another resolution. So basically whatever goes in the VGA input, you can scale it to a set resolution, and that's what I'm doing now. So I've got no idea if it's going to work. I know that some of the things on the screen will be cut off, but look, that's as good as it gets for the time being, until I figure out a better way of doing this. Okay, so let's get started. Last time we had a look at the device manager, and we noticed there are a couple of things that are not working, and that's fine. They're missing the drivers basically. So the task is to get rid of all these question marks. Now, I had some issues getting the USB going. In fact, I didn't get it going at all. I know how to get it going on the Windows 98, but for some reason the drivers didn't work on the 95. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to properties, and we're just gonna go disable in this hardware profile. So we're not gonna restart just yet. So basically we'll just turn them off. I didn't find a BIOS option to turn off the USB, so maybe your motherboard is a little bit better. Okay, we got the sound card here, PCI bridge that usually points to the motherboard driver, the HB chipset, and that's probably our Diamond Monster. So what I'm gonna do next is load the chipset drivers. But before we continue, out of the box 95 has this really weird behavior of opening new windows every time we click on something. So we can change that. We go to view options, click this option here, then we go to view. We want to go see all the files, also even the hidden ones, and also get rid of this. And then one more thing, you go to view and turn on the toolbars, and then we also go view, arrange icons, auto arrange, and now it's a little bit easier to navigate. Looks almost like Windows 8, doesn't it? Okay, so driver pack. Now this is something I can't really help you much. You gotta hunt down your own drivers, because I don't know what kind of motherboard you've got. The chipset drivers I got directly from Intel. The Matrox video card driver, Matrox has them on the website. The 3dfx drivers. Shout out to a chap called Squall Strife for uploading the Diamond Monster installation CD. So he's a chap from Bogons. Bogons has a beautiful driver archive, so if you're ever running low on a driver, check it out. Chances are they're there. A couple of other chaps that are really involved in that is Malik, and also The Man. Now The Man has a really cool Sound Blaster 16 AWE driver disk with all the drivers. However, I got the drivers from the Creative website. They don't give you any of those extra applications, but I'm not interested in them. I just want the driver to get going. Okay, so where were we? Yes, Intel chipset directly from Intel. Let's run that. Now we will reboot a few times, so it'll be a little bit boring. I'll try to do my best to fill those gaps. So there we go. Always have a look at the README. Quite interesting what you find in these files. Here it tells you all the features that this is meant to enable. USB support, nope, it doesn't do that, so at least not on this motherboard. And that's the chipset I have, the 4040BX, so at least we are on the right, we got the right driver, we are on the right track. Okay, let's do a reboot. So hopefully my capture system is not gonna crap itself, and it's just gonna continue even if we reboot and change resolutions and switch from the Matrox to the Voodoo card. Okay. There we go, so it's just adding some drivers. This is also going to take a while. It'll detect all the little bits and pieces and install the drivers one by one. With the capturing, before I got the AV Media, I just used a VGA to S-video converter. In a lot of ways, it was a lot more convenient. You didn't have to worry about changes of resolution. It just took whatever came into the VGA and converted it. So it was a very bulletproof solution. The image quality wasn't very good though, especially once you went up in the resolution. It was quite blurry and you couldn't see the detail, so hopefully this is better than what what my videos used to be like, but it's not ideal. Through HDMI, like on my Time Machine, the Super Socket 7 Time Machine, I've got a video card that has DVI out. Oh, that just works perfectly. It never cuts out one video file throughout the whole the job. Doesn't matter what resolution, BIOS, it just takes it all. Okay, so we're back on the desktop. Let's have a look if there's any updates. So yep, that PCI device disappeared, so let's now deal with the sound card. Again, if you're interested in loading all the extra gizmos and applications, feel free to download one of those driver discs from Vogons. I just went to the Creative website, and there's this Sound Blaster Windows 90X update, which he just extracts the files, which works on its own, so it's not just for updating existing drivers. You can just run that and it'll install the drivers, and that's really all we need. There you go, and we should have a working sound now. Yep, my mixer lights are flashing, so that's a good sign. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, some issue with the game port. So usually how I fix this, I remove the device, I do a refresh, and that usually gives me the opportunity to figure out what's going on. Okay, so it's looking for the Windows 95 disk, which is still in the drive. Okay, I get it. The boot disk had the drive under the R letter, however, ours is on D now, and just got to point it to that file and off we go. Okay, now we're just going to load the video driver. I have two video cards in my system. The first one is the Matrox, so let's load that one first. I'm gonna install that into my driver right here. Another reboot. Now it's going to increase the resolution, so when we're back on the desktop I'm going to put the resolution back to 640 by 480. This is purely for capturing purposes, because the Voodoo, usually all the games run at 640 by 480, so if I keep the desktop at the same resolution it's a little bit easier with the capturing. But obviously on your desktop use whatever your monitor supports, like if it's a LCD monitor, whatever the native resolution is. So I'm just gonna put that down and let's go true color. Okay, now let's have a look again. Yep, now we're just gonna take care of the 3dfx Voodoo. Now with the 3dfx cards, there are a couple of drivers you can go for. You can go with the OEM drivers. So for example, you can get the drivers from Diamond, or you can get the reference drivers. With the Diamond drivers you get the logo from the company, and I think that's about it. But maybe other cards have different features in the driver. I don't know, I haven't tested that much. But if you just want the plain experience, you can just go with the reference drivers. So last time before I shot this video before, until I found out that it didn't capture the audio, I used the Diamond drivers. So I'm just gonna try these ones, and let's have a look. Voodoo graphics, glide driver, yep, that looks good. Okay, let's change. Yep, that's fine. So we just gotta. Where was it? It was in Windows. Temp. Okay, so there's no installer, so we have to do this another way. You have to go to the device manager, and then you click here, properties, driver, update driver, other locations, browse, see, Windows, and temp. Okay, let's try this again. There you go. Let's do a reboot and let's see if that worked. Now, after we've done the 3dfx driver, we also have to install the DirectX drivers. Now, you might be saying, I only want to play Glide games, I don't need DirectX. Well, you do, because a lot of games use DirectX for the keyboard input and for the sound, so there's really not much escaping that one. But let's make sure the 3dfx works. So let's close all that, and we can right click, go to properties, and we should see, okay, I only get, okay, there you go, there's our tab, and a couple of things you can change, like the refresh rates. I'm gonna leave that on 60. I think that's VSync, Glide settings. So these are for Direct 3D, and these are for Glide. You can change the gamma settings, apply gamma to Glide. So a couple of options you can play around here with. So that's good to go. System info, that usually tells you what driver versions you've got. So So okay, let's close that, and we just gotta have one more thing to sort out, which is DirectX. Ton of versions. I've been told they're backwards compatible, so it shouldn't matter which version. I tried the version 8 and that worked fine. Let's go with, what have we got here? DirectX 6.1. Let's try those. And while this is running, okay, what's going on? Creative, active, so it's not restore the original driver. Alright, well, let's see what's happening. Okay, let's go reboot. Now DirectX comes with a really good utility. So, it's called DirectX, and it allows you to have a look at your system, make sure it's all working. It tells you the version numbers, it tells you if anything doesn't work, you can test the sound, you can test the graphics. Quite clever, they've done a good job, and definitely very handy when it comes to diagnosing any issues on your system. Okay, so to run DirectX, you click the start button, go run. There you go. And let's have a look. No problems found, that's good. Okay, so that's basically Sound Blaster 16. It has a whinge about those drivers here. Display driver, let's have a look what's going on here. Uncertified, okay. Now this is the Matrox card. And what you can do, you can go test, and it draws some things on the screen just to make sure it's all working. Can do, oops. You can do the same thing with the Direct 3D. So when you set up a new system, I recommend you do all those tests and just make sure that all the drivers are fully operational. And you can do the same thing with your Voodoo. Now, because you have two video cards in a system, you always have to check if the game comes with a configuration utility, because you often have to tell it specifically to use the 3dfx Voodoo and not the primary card. And that's something you can easily overlook. And that's it. And there's also a test for sound. Okay, and that's it. So let's have a final look into our device manager. So it's just the USB. Everything else is good to go. There's one thing you need to tweak. That's your hard drive controller. Go to settings and turn on DMA, which will speed up hard drive access. And after this reboot, what we're gonna do is just try out a few 3dfx games and make sure they're all working. something to look forward in the next part is MS-DOS. So in the next part I'm going to show you how to deal with MS-DOS in Windows 95. Okay, so I've got a bunch of demos on in my driver pack. Let's have a look. Let's start with pod. Okay, so there's something missing. A required DLL client was not found. Okay, so obviously something with the 3dfx installation didn't work properly. But let's see if this has the same error. Okay, this one works. I think Wing Commander uses Direct 3D. So let's play this demo first, and then we're gonna try to
go to nav 1 and engage all enemies. Waves of fighters will continue to approach. Score will be awarded for the highest number of kills in the allotted time.
Midway to all wings. We're tracking multiple attack groups, closing fast.
Good morning, sir.
Glad to see you.
Go get him, Casey.
There's a whole lot of bad guys around.
This place is awfully crowded.
You're cleared to attack.
Whatever you say.
Alrighty, so let's try to fix that issue with pod. I'm gonna do what I did before when I first shot the video, and that was run the diamond driver, not the reference driver. Now with the version numbers, should you go with the latest one or not? Well, really depends. I don't recommend you go with the very first one, because that will likely have a lot of bugs. But if you go with the latest one, it might have some issues as well. But let's just try that. Okay, let's have a look. Yes. So we can see here what's going on. Can we change anything? Nope. Do a reboot, and hopefully these drivers work properly. You can also get the driver disk for the Diamond Monster from the Vogon's driver library. It's got a couple of demos on there which are pretty cool, like 3dfx tech demos. So that's always cool to see. I remember them because I had a Diamond Monster when I was a teenager, and I remember all these little demos. Okay, so let's check out the drivers. There you go. So now we've got the Diamond Monster logo and all the usual stuff. So let's see if we can play pod now. Demos, pod. There you go. That looks better.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Working beautifully as well. Okay, and let's see what else I've got. I've got Tomb Raider in here. Now this is a DOS game, so I think I have to run setup first.
Right. Let's go adventuring.
There we go. And now we should be able to run the game. Where is it? That one. So a lot of DOS games run from within Windows. some reason this game takes quite a bit to load. Not quite sure if that's because of the demo. It does look on the disk drive a little bit, so maybe it's looking for an audio CD or something like that. But there we go. And that was a really huge game when it came out for the 3dfx. They are following you. There you go. What a game when it came out. I couldn't believe it when I installed that 3dfx patch. Graphics just went from 320 to 200, very pixelated, to high resolution graphics. Ooh, that's a switch. Alrighty. Let's get out of this, and that's really it. So basics is you gotta sort out all your drivers. Basically, all the question marks in the device manager, you one by one, the aim is to remove them, and so you need to figure out what motherboard you've got, what chipset, what graphics cards, and just collect all the drivers and put them on your hard drive to run from there. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and as I said in the next video, we're gonna have a look at getting MS-DOS going under Windows 95, MS-DOS games.